All right, guys, this is just a quick video for the turn signals on the UForce 1000. Mine's 2021. Pretty sure it should be the same for the earlier ones, but not really sure. There's a few different ways you can do the turn signals on these. You can do it the expensive way and order the kit from CFMOTO that comes with new headlights, tail lights, all that stuff, switch, flasher, but it's like $1,000 or $1,300 or something ridiculous. Or you can do it the cheap way and just order the switch and flasher. You can do it even cheaper and order aftermarket switch and flasher, but this way at least part of it's plug and play. I ordered the switch and flasher from the CFMOTO Parts USA. So that's your switch right there. And then the flasher is mounted up underneath the hood right here. This is it right here. The plug that was for it was under the wheel well in mine when I first tried to find it, and it was tucked up in there, so I brought it up through the hole, and it comes with a little protective plug in the end of it, so you got to take that out to plug the flasher in. So that's all well and good. Those parts all plug in. The switch plugs into a existing plug under the dash. The front lights, I went with some of the 3/4 LED amber lights, got them on both sides. If you go with that style, I think they're pretty much all the same. Mine I got off of Amazon from Online LED. I've had good luck with their stuff in the past, so but I think they're pretty much all the same. But it just mounts with a little rubber deal and then pushes in. If you're gonna do it, I suggest using a unibit to drill it, but pay attention to your unibit, because just because it says 3/4 right there doesn't necessarily mean that that's 3/4. This one is, but I almost used one that is not and drilled a test hole in another piece of plastic that I've got laying around. Totally doesn't work. But anyway, so those are there. These are pre-wired for the turn signals, front and back, as far as the wiring through the machine is there. You don't have to run crap all over the place to get it. It's there. I've got mine all, let's see if I can take this off here without anything. I've got mine all tied together, soldered, and then I put some quick connect connectors on it, and that's just some nasty dielectric grease there to keep it from corroding. So that this can be unplugged and this piece can be removed. Have one over there too. Same thing, you don't need to see it. But those all come in the plug right there, routed up through and over to your headlight plug right there, and I've got them tied in right there. Front and back on these machines, the driver side turn signal positive is going to be orange, passenger side is going to be light blue, and then it seems like a common thing throughout the machine, but don't take my word for it necessarily, but they seem to like to use just straight green for ground, and that's what it was in all of the plugs that I tied into. In the back, you got to do something a little bit different. Since you're sharing the single tail lights, for now a turn signal and a brake light and a running light, you have to install a trailer wiring converter. And I know some guys have had some issues with installing these on these machines. They weren't able to get them to work right or whatnot, and I'm not sure what the issue was that they had with them, but sometimes if you don't deal with this stuff regularly, it can be kind of confusing. And especially since you're not actually wiring necessarily trailer lights, kind of think of it as this is the truck and the bed that has your lights on it is the trailer. Helps kind of keep it straight in your head a little bit easier. The way I did this is a little bit different than some people might want to do it. I don't care about the factory trailer wiring, because this new converter is going to have, you know, an actual useful 4-flat plug on it, which I'm also probably never going to use. But anyway, I've got it now. So, but it does have a plug on here so that you can unplug it and remove the bed so that you can get at everything up here. And that's a feature I wanted to keep. So what I did, tested all of my wiring that's coming in here, found all the appropriate wires that I needed. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the brake signal that comes from the truck and you're gonna cut it. And then you've already got your turn signal wires back here too, but you're gonna take your brake signal into your module, and both of your turn signals into the module, ground, and the tail light signal. All that stuff comes into here. Cut it off of this plug. Then I took, and now since I wanted to keep this plug, I just spliced in what I needed right here and then ran it back in and then tied it in over back into this plug here. So the brake wire that was cut, that no longer gets used. So that's just, I just wrapped that around through some heat shrink on it. So it's good to go if it ever needs to be hooked back up. But I've got my turn signal wires that I'd cut off of this harness coming from the truck, tied those into the output side of this, and same with my tail light wire, tied that into that too. So that way this plug still works so that you can unplug the bed and remove it easily. Now to do that and make it work, you've got your turn signal wires that come from that plug on the bed harness, and they come out and then it splits off to both sides. And now I've already got this all wire loomed back together, but basically where it comes in off of that plug, it splits off. Your orange comes this way, your blue, light blue goes this way for the passenger side, as well as your green with yellow. There's a joint, it's either here or here, I forget where it is, but there's a joint where it just splits off, so you got brake wire to both sides. Followed it up, cut it up here, and then I tied my orange onto the wire that goes the rest of the way over to the tail light. Did the same over here, cut that green yellow over here, hooked the light blue, cut the light blue wire, hooked it up to the green yellow going that direction. That way you no longer have the brake light signal from the factory going to the tail lights, because now it's coming through that module. So did all that, capped everything off that wasn't being used, solder heat shrinked everything, taped it all back up, and I still have to zip tie it all back up where it needs to go. But that way everything can still be removed from there. If you haven't ever used one of these things are pretty awesome. It's a generic power probe. You can get these off of Amazon as well. I think it's Ansel. But pretty nice unit, comes in handy. I didn't have any wiring diagrams or schematics or anything to go off of. I tested everything. So when you put in the switch and the flasher, right now I've got the right hand turn signal on. The indicators on the dash will work without any additional wiring or anything. Right there. So right now I've got my left hand signals on. Front's flashing. Back is flashing. And over to the right. Right front's flashing. Right rear is flashing. Now I don't have the hazard switch because I don't really care about the hazard switch. I just wanted the turn signals because the county next to us is going to open up some trails. And I'm not going to bother showing, but you can hit the brake and see that they still do work with the brakes on too. I'll post up this video, and then probably in the comments I'll put some of the pictures of that I took kind of along the way. I'm not a videographer. I can't video this crap while I'm doing it because I don't have that kind of time or equipment. This is all just off my cell phone, so you get what you get. The parts that I used for it, This is the trailer light converter that I used. There's a ton of different ones. This is just what the AutoZone down the road had for me to use. And that's the part number on it. They had another cheaper one that probably would have worked just as well. But this one seemed like it was a little bit more weatherproof since it's going to be mounted in the back there. And inside of it, it kind of gives you the wiring colors so that you know what your trailer wiring colors are. These are not the colors on the CFMOTO. These are the generic trailer wiring. The CFMOTO switch, I don't know if this will focus. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Go on CFMOTO USA parts and you can get that. And then the flasher unit as well. So that's that stuff. Like I said, I'll post up this video, and then I'll throw up a few pictures that I took kind of along the way, what I did, but I think it'll work out just fine. Thanks.